guys, and thank you for tuning in to this high-level review of episodes 10 through 12, Love is Blind, Season 8. You could be on any channel in the world right now, but you're right here with me, and I really do appreciate that. Please, before we get started, be sure to like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you do like watching both TV show reviews and also movie reviews. Now, Love is Blind, Season 8, Episodes 10 through 12. I have like zero interest in going scene for scene for these 3 episodes, right? But what I want to do is just on a very high level review each couple and the highlights from those 3 episodes, right? So let's start with Dave and Lauren, because episode 10 actually kicks off with them. We have Lauren. She's sitting in their shared apartment, and you can tell that she's upset that Dave didn't come home all night long. And they had an argument the night before, a continued argument that's been going on because Lauren had a friends with benefits, and her friends with benefits lives in the same city as them. Dave has a friend of a friend of a friend that knows the guy that she was hunching before she came on the show, and he's very upset. He's acting very immature over that whole situation. I mean, they were both single before they joined Love is Blind, but he seems to be very upset and very worked up over that. And I have a lot of thoughts on this, guys. I have so many thoughts on the Dave and Lauren relationship, right? So let's dig right in, right? My unpopular opinion, if somebody had to ask me whether I was Team David or Team Lauren, this is based off of me watching all the episodes up to episode 12. I would have to say that I'm Team David. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, right? Because I see a lot of people on Twitter, you know, on Reddit, everybody's feeling so sorry for Lauren. But guys, like, Lauren is a grown lady. Lauren is 30, 31 years old, right? And some girls, they really go for the bad guy. That's what they like. But on the other hand, let's look at our boy Dave. Not my boy, because I really don't like him. He's definitely a fuckboy. I'm not going to lie about that. But Dave, he is unapologetically himself. He is overtly a fuckboy. Like, we all know this. She should have saw this. She saw all of the red flags. So he was the one to, on episode 11, actually walk away from the relationship. You know, she got upset. They had a conversation in a movie theater, an empty movie theater, again, about this ex and him not letting her meet his sister, his friends. He didn't want her to meet anybody, right? But guess what? I have 3 reasons why I think David really didn't like Lauren. He really didn't rock with her. You know, I think David really didn't like Lauren. For one, I don't think he was attracted to her. You know, I'm not saying that Lauren wasn't attractive. I just don't think he liked her. You know, I don't think she was his type. I think David's more into the type of, like, I think maybe he would have liked a Taylor a little bit better. Or he would have even liked a Hani from Love is Blind Germany. Like, he wanted a girl that looked like that. You know, what he considers to be hot. Or a smoke show, as they say, right? So I think that's what he would have liked, right? So I think that's the number 1 reason that he was acting the way he was acting with Lauren, that he didn't like her. And number 2, I think because he wasn't that attracted to her and he didn't find her beautiful, that he thought that she should have been more wholesome. You know, think about it, though. A lot of guys would be upset if a girl that they were dating was just smashing somebody that lives in the same hood. Like, come on now, think about it. Like, he knows this guy through a friend of a friend. A lot of guys would not like that she was smashing somebody so recently, and then, you know, you're dating me, you're about to marry me. A lot of guys wouldn't like that, you know what I'm saying? So no shame on Dave for that. And also, I don't think that he liked her, specifically because she was spineless. Like, let's be real. Like, she was being so soft. Like, she was literally begging to meet his friends, begging to meet his sister. She even wrote his sister a letter, you know, telling her about herself and all of this bull crap, him hawing around. And Lauren, she even let him meet her mama. Like, who does that? Like, if you think this guy is stringing you along for the ride, why would you let him meet your mom? I don't know where I'm from. Nobody meeting Mom Dukes unless we serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why she would even introduce him to her mom. I know a lot of people feel sorry for women like Lauren, but I don't. You know, because women like Lauren, some of them like that toxicity. They like that bad guy that they know is going to break their heart. A lot of women are attracted to that, and that's what they go for whatever reason. They don't want to be treated right. They like the drama of that. She was begging that man through and through every episode to believe her. Please let me meet your friends. Please let me meet your sister. Let me prove myself. Give me a shot at explaining myself. Girl, why aren't you explaining yourself? You're grown. Let them run with whatever theories they have. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. What? Stand up, Lauren. I wanted her to stand up and just know who she was. Like, know that you can move on any given day, find somebody new that would appreciate you, that would love you. This Dave guy was never into her, and she should have known that from day one in the pods. You know, when he subtly called her ugly in so many different ways. Bruh. In the pods, when he met her in person, this guy was not into her from the jump. And I feel like Lauren should have saw all of those red flags. And also, why I'm Team Dave is because, again, he's unapologetically himself. He's an F-boy. He acts like a frat boy teenager. But he didn't hide that, you know, like from day one, we were all rooting against Dave, right? Like we all knew who he was. You know, Lauren should have known who he was too. We knew that he wasn't going to go through and marry anybody. He wouldn't have married any of those ladies. He would have found an excuse to swerve any of them, you know, no matter who he would have linked up with, the pods or outside of the pods. He just was a commitment phobe overall. And we know that. And in real life, we all know a Dave. We all either been with a Dave in the past, or you know of a friend, a family member, somebody that's been with a Dave. You know, Dave is no stranger to all of us, right? So take Dave for what he's worth. He was a walking red flag. Lauren, you should have known that. I don't feel bad for Lauren. In fact, I'm happy that he was the one that ultimately ended things, because now she could move on and find somebody that's really into her. So he actually did her a favor, all right? Next up, we have Devin and Virginia. Some of their highlights from episodes 10 through 12 is Devin meets Virginia's mom for the first time. And Virginia's mom has a lot of good questions for him. Devin is going on and on and on about he knows he's going to be great with commitment because his parents were married 30 plus years. His sister was married over 10 years. And, you know, he think he got this. And the mom comes back like, do you know Virginia comes from divorced parents? I thought that was very key for her to mention, considering this prenup situation that Virginia and Devin have going on. Like, Devin thinks it's all, you know, fairy tale shits and giggles. And Virginia comes from a divorced family. Like, she comes from probably what most people come from, you know? So it just shows why she might be more adamant about him signing that prenup, which eventually, that we see in episode 12, that he does eventually sign that prenup. So I do think that Netflix played into that drama a little bit, you know, a little bit too much, right? That Devin wasn't going to sign the prenup, but he actually does end up signing that prenup. But the most important highlight to me from these 3 episodes about Devin and Virginia was Devin's stance on his political views. I was very disturbed as a Black man that he said he votes conservative, and that he asked, is it going to be a problem if me and you vote differently? He said something along those lines. I'm like, oh my God, Virginia, run. Like, I don't even know, honestly, in my opinion, how you can date somebody who doesn't even listen to the same music issue. But imagine you know, voting and you voting for Kamala and he over there voting for Trump. Like, I don't see how that's going to work out in the long run. And she's like, oh, babe, we're going to make it work. You know, I'm okay with it. She's saying all of this and that. But girl, like, if you really think about it, like, for somebody to be that split on political views in the long run, it's probably not going to work out. You know, so I think they skated past that a little bit too quickly, Devin and Virginia. And I don't think that she's really thinking it through. In fact, what I've also seen in these past 3 episodes, that I think she's a little bit too good for him. I really do. I think she's settling for Devin. Unfortunately, I wish my girl all the best, all the luck. I know it's hard out here to find somebody. She's single, she's Black, she's successful. She's trying to find her, you know, brother. It's hard. But Virginia, I really do think you're settling for Devin. And I don't know if they're going to make it down the aisle. Like, at this point, I think they have like a 50-50 chance of making it down the aisle. I mean, we don't see a lot of like huge red flags, except that red flags about his political reviews. I'm not with that right there. That would give me a lot of pause, a lot of hesitation. I'll probably even back out just because of that. But nonetheless, I don't see her seeing any red flags. She seems okay with everything with Devin. So they might make it down that aisle. So we'll see him pretty soon. Next, let's talk about Joey and Monica. I really am sad to see that. I think that they're growing apart just a bit. I think that Joey is actually kind of distancing himself from Monica. I don't know. I don't know if it's the whole sister situation with Monica's sister and her family. I don't know if it's him being OCD and him looking at her like she's dirty. I don't know what it is, but Joey is distancing himself from her. Like, we see in one episode that she's like, you know, my love language is physical touch. I need you to touch me more. Like, even if it's a knee, even if it's touching her shoulder, something. And he's like, you know, okay, I'm going to work on that. But in that moment, he did not go over to her side of the table and console her and say, like, I love you. In fact, I think he said something along the lines like, I got love for you, not really that I love you. So I'm very sad to see them growing apart, and I wonder why. Like, a lot of times things happen off camera that we don't see, obviously, but I just don't know where they went awry, because this is a couple that I was rooting for. This is one of the only couples that I thought was going to make it down the aisle. So I'm like, damn, what's good with Joey and Monica now? You know, what could have happened? Except the only drama I see was that, again, her sister was hating on the relationship. And I love how Joey clocked her. That's one highlight from them. Joey and Monica, they met with the sister for a photo shoot. And he was questioning her. I feel like he was on his grown man swag, questioning her, like, what's good? Like, kind of like, basically, like, why you don't like me? Confronting her straight up, and he was direct. And he was not wavering. I like how serious he was. For him to be such a quirky, funny, lighthearted dude, he does know how to get serious and ask the real questions that need to be asked. So I'm still rooting for Joey and Monica, because I do like them, but I don't know what happened to make them go awry. It doesn't feel like he has that same level of love or commitment to Monica. So I'll be curious to see what happens next week on the weddings, whether or not he says yes or no, or whether or not she says yes or no. It'll be good to see. Next, let's head over to Taylor and Daniel. I think this is the only couple that is going to make it down the aisle. I really do. Like, they are so aligned on all of their core values. Their parents seem to get along very well. And I just think I love Daniel. I adore him so much. Like, if anything goes awry, I really think it's going to be Taylor's fault and not Daniel's fault. I think Daniel is so ready, and I think he's going to love her way more than she loves him, which is good for her, you know, not hating on that at all. That's a good situation for Taylor. But nonetheless, they are just so cute together. They are so in love. On all of their dates, you see a lot of chemistry. In fact, you see where they were like playing ice hockey. She was really good at ice hockey or whatever they were doing, by the way, too. But you see that she's like, man, I'm just falling more and more in love with you every day. So I love Taylor and Daniel together. So I would be very, very surprised if they don't make it down that aisle. Now, let's head over to Sarah and Ben. These last 3 episodes, I don't know. They don't align on anything. Like, she's talking about how she saw like a live stream of one of his church videos, right? And his pastor is giving his views on the LGBTQ community. I always say the acronym wrong, but she's not aligned with the pastor's views, and she says something to the effect that she wants them to try a different church, and he's trying to break it down to her like, that's not how it really works, you know? In church, you might not align with everything that the pastor says. That doesn't mean that you just jump ship and go to a different church. So he's trying to break it down to her, and she's just not really understanding. But to me, Sarah just seems so, I don't know, she's so delusional, you know? Not saying that I like Ben for her. You know, Ben is very just, he doesn't take a stance on anything. Like, he doesn't have strong opinions on anything. And I don't like that for any man. Like, I need you to be 10 toes down. Like, have an opinion, have a strong stance on something. But Sarah just seems to be, every time her friends or family ask her, she's like, oh, he's so great. He's so awesome. I love him. I'm so protective over him. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine my life without him. That's always her response. And I'm like, girl, do you see that y'all are not aligned on all of your core values? That y'all are not seeing eye to eye on things? Like, she just keeps lying to her friends and family about that. And I don't like that for her. You know, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe she just wants to be married so bad, and she's just trying to oversee a lot of their inconsistencies. But I really don't like that for Sarah, you know? So I'm a little bit hesitant if they'll make it down the aisle. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben actually calls it off, because she's not a church girl. He's very religious. He's in church every Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that comes to the conclusion that maybe they're not ready to be married and they don't make it down the aisle. In fact, episode 12 ends off with a cliffhanger of Sarah and Ben's wedding day. So we're about to see really quickly whether or not they go down the aisle and they say, I do. And I cannot wait to see that. So guys, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And please tune in, because I will be doing a review of the finale, aka the weddings, and let you know my thoughts and opinions on that. But again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.